Nobody saw it coming. Not the fans, not the paparazzi, not even his closest friends. Jason Statham, the unbreakable action hero, the rock-solid guy who always seems in total control, suddenly blinked, hesitated, and then said something completely unexpected. It wasn't about a fight scene, or a stunt gone wrong, or an upcoming blockbuster. This was different. This was his soul cracking open. He leaned forward, the camera creeping closer as if it sensed what was about to happen. His jaw, usually clenched, relaxed. His eyes, so often steely and distant, softened. And then he whispered the words nobody thought they'd hear from him, a confession, raw and trembling, that revealed a wound he'd carried in secret for years. He told the story of his childhood, of a little boy who watched his dad struggle, who felt invisible, unimportant, unloved. He described nights when he lay awake wondering if he was enough, if he mattered. He talked about how he learned to be strong because he had to, not because he wanted to. He said that for the longest time, acting and fighting and jumping off buildings weren't just his job. They were his escape, his armor, the only way he knew how to survive. With each word, his façade cracked a little more. You could hear it in his voice, the tension, the release, the sorrow. He told of heartbreaks no one ever saw, not the lovers, not the co-stars, heartbreaks of being left behind, of being betrayed, of being misunderstood. He admitted that fame sometimes felt like a prison. Everyone sees you, but hardly anyone knows you. Everyone cheers, but hardly anyone stays. Then came the moment that froze everyone watching. He paused, looked directly into the lens as if addressing not just the interviewer, but his past, the ghosts he carried. And he said, "I've never said this out loud, but I think I've been afraid all my life. And maybe that's okay. Maybe brave doesn't mean not scared." And in that split second, everything changed. The man in front of the camera wasn't a movie star. He wasn't the invincible tough guy. He was just a human being. Fragile, vulnerable, real. For a long time, people only saw Jason Statham running, punching, flying through the air. But in that confession, he revealed he'd been running from something inside him, from pain, from shame, from fear. He said that he'd built a career on control of his body, of his image, of his reputation. But control, he realized, was an illusion if you can't control your own heart. And then he made a promise, not to anyone else, to himself. He promised to let himself feel, to stop pushing down the terrifying parts of himself just to stay strong, to speak the truths he's hidden, even if they hurt to say, to let people in, even if that means giving up a little power. As he spoke, tears welled up in his eyes, not big, dramatic sobs, but small, visible, the kind you can't hide, no matter how hard you try. And you felt something shift, because hearing him say it, out loud, unfiltered, made you realize we all have wounds. We all carry secrets. We all put on masks sometimes. And even the strongest among us are just people. The video didn't just go viral because it was shocking. It went viral because it was real. Because people recognized themselves in his vulnerability. Fans flooded the comments. "Thank you for being honest. Me too. We never knew." People shared it like it was a lifeline, like seeing him break open somehow gave them permission to do the same. He ended the confession by looking straight into the camera, lips trembling, voice soft, and he said, "If you're out there and you feel broken or alone, I see you. I've been there. We don't have to hide anymore." And that was the most powerful thing he said. Not about stunts or fights, about being human. After the video dropped, social media exploded.
Clips replayed over and over. Memes were made. People tagged friends, family. Hey, watch this. Celebrities praised him. Mental health advocates applauded him. Strangers messaged him, thanking him. Some said they'd never felt so connected to a movie star. But what really resonated was not the shock of the confession. It was the courage it took. The bravery in admitting fear. In admitting that being tough doesn't mean being unbreakable. In admitting that you're allowed to have soft places. To admit you're hurting. And you know what? That's the part that changed the game. Because for so long, action heroes like him seemed untouchable. Like they didn't bleed, didn't hurt, didn't cry. But in that moment, Jason Statham didn't just tell his truth. He shattered the myth. He gave himself permission to be vulnerable, and in doing so, he gave us all permission too. Now, I don't know what happens next. Maybe he'll find peace. Maybe he'll keep fighting. Maybe he'll write a memoir. But one thing's for sure. After that confession, he's different, and we're changed too. If you felt that, if your heart squeezed or cracked a little when you watched it, you're not alone. And if you want to hear more stories like this, real, raw confessions from people you think you know, but don't, you've found a place where we talk about it. I promise this isn't just for celebrities. This is for all of us. So if you're feeling seen, if you're feeling heard, join me. Follow this page, because we're just getting started. We're going to bring more honest stories, more broken truths, more moments that feel like they're speaking right to you. And yeah, it's gonna hurt sometimes, but vulnerability is powerful. Courage is contagious, and together we can turn our scars into strength. Easy. Imagine standing in front of millions of eyes, knowing everyone expects you to be the unshakable tough guy, the guy who never loses, never falters, never feels. And then, just for a moment, you drop the armor. You let them see the cracks, the tiny fissures in the steel. That's bravery most people only dream about. Most people hide behind smiles, behind filters, behind facades. But he didn't. He chose to be human, fully human, in front of everyone. As the video continued, you could feel the room's silence through the screen. Not the literal silence, but the kind that grips you when you witness honesty. His voice trembled as he recounted moments of doubt, times he questioned if all the risk, all the sacrifice, all the fights were worth it. He confessed that sometimes the applause felt empty, the accolades hollow, and the fame lonely. And yet, and here's the kicker, he didn't give up. He didn't let the darkness consume him. He leaned into it, acknowledged it, and in that acknowledgement, he found strength. What's incredible is how relatable it all became. You don't need to be a movie star to feel this. Everyone has moments of fear, moments of insecurity, moments where they feel like the world expects more than they can give. Jason's confession was a mirror, showing that even the people who seem untouchable, who look perfect, have their own battles, and sometimes those battles are invisible. And then, just when you thought the video couldn't get more raw, he laughed. A small, almost shy laugh, remembering a ridiculous mistake he made early in his career. The kind of mistake that would make most people cringe, maybe quit. But he laughed, because he realized that vulnerability isn't weakness. It's liberation. It's freedom to mess up, to feel, to breathe, to exist without the weight of a constructed persona. Comments started flooding in, thousands per second. Fans shared their own hidden fears, their own buried confessions. I never told anyone this, but hearing him made me brave enough to say it. I feel like I can finally admit I'm scared sometimes. This isn't just about Jason. This is about me, about all of us. And that's the magic of it. The ripple effect of courage. One person dares to be real, and suddenly 1,000 others feel permission to do the same. By the end of the recording, his shoulders slumped, not in defeat, but in relief. He had said the words he had carried alone for years. He had given them voice, and in that voice, something powerful happened. A connection. Not the shallow connection of fans to a celebrity, but a deep human connection. The kind that reminds you we're all walking through life with hidden battles, and sometimes, just sometimes, sharing them is the most heroic act of all. So, here's the thing I want you to take away. Vulnerability isn't for the weak. It's for the brave. It's for anyone willing to face their own truth, to admit the pain they've hidden, and to let someone else see it. That's the real action hero move. Not jumping off buildings, not performing impossible stunts, but standing tall in your